Today on From Where to Here, our guest is Sarah, my husband's cousin, and she's originally from Alabama. Before moving to Japan, Sarah spent time teaching elementary school, and since arriving here, she has discovered that she actually enjoys teaching adults.
Yeah, I didn't think, no, I'm gonna live here. I just kept living here and I don't feel like it's time to go back to America if ever, but yeah, we might in the future. The train, people do not talk, even the elevator, it's kind of like, oh, kind of. America is like the opposite. Well, there are some restaurants that have like tatami mat, it's called, and yeah, you might have to sit on the floor, but then they'll also have tables because, and I do not like sitting on the floor. Like, why in the world would you have like, especially carpet in your house and wear shoes? Like, I'm just like, no. So yeah, if I go to America, I'm gonna be like wanting to take off my shoes if I go to anybody's house. And
Hi, I'm Alexandra Lloyd, a French Canadian who's called Birmingham, Alabama home since 2017. Welcome to From Where to Here, the podcast that celebrates the rich diversity of languages, cultures, and the stories that connect us all. Each month, I'll sit down with inspiring guests from different backgrounds to explore their cultures, languages, and tackle some fun in our Truth, Dare, or Debunk segment. Whether you're a language enthusiast, a culture lover, or just curious about the world, you're in the right place. Let's dive into your next favorite cultural adventure.
okay, well, there's a phrase that I really like. Some phrases are easier to say in Japanese or more convenient. So one is like, natsukashii is like memorable and nostalgic, but I'm not going to say that in English. Like, that's nostalgic. You know what I mean? Like, but if I look at something and it makes me remember something from like my childhood, I'm like, natsukashii.
Okay, help me. Teach me. Be the teacher to me.
Okay.
How to
Not
pronounce?
natsukashii.
Natsukashii.
Natsukashii. Natsukashii. Natsukashii. I don't know if I'm saying it perfectly, but
I'm sure you.
that's how I say it.
I love that you are, Sarah. I've been so impressed with your Japanese because Sarah at first will tell me, "Oh no, I don't really speak Japanese," and then turns out we we visited we visited your
In-laws?
yes, we visited your in-laws, and then we just walk around, and wow, she's a natural. She was just like picking up and being able to talk with them and have a conversation and explain what I was trying to tell them, and vice versa. So no, I think
Yeah, but you haven't
you're
seen her
correct.
other times. You haven't seen other tests. Okay.
It's always well different
And different topics.
different topics. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. What's one unwritten rule in Japan that took you the longest to understand?
Yeah, it's hard because I'm not sure if I still understand. I'm sure there's a lot of things I still don't understand, but I think it's if they're really listening to you and saying that it's interesting, it does not mean they're interested for themselves personally. It's just like they're being very polite, or it's interesting because that's your culture and that's what you're saying. And it's not like they're gonna really take it personally, or maybe they might not even really think really wonderfully about it, but they're gonna be really nice about it. So I guess sometimes you think, oh wow, they're interested in, but they're not. So can't tell. You can't quite tell what they're thinking.
I know you listen to From Where to Here because you're not into surface level travel. You want the story, not just the sights. But let's be honest, breaking the language barrier can be intimidating. That's why I created the 5 phrases that unlock any culture. These are 5 simple phrases designed to pass small talk into real conversations from almost anywhere in the world. Don't just be a tourist, be a connector. You can grab it at fromwheretohearpod.com/5 phrases. That's your shortcut to unlocking real conversations.
But when it comes to the language, how much Japanese did you actually need at first, and how did you learn the basic, you use now? I know you mentioned you did some classes, but that was it.
Yeah, I was actually very surprised that how I could live here without knowing so much Japanese. But I do think my situation was unique. First of all, for anybody, if you go to a restaurant or go shopping, it's like no problem usually, unless it's some like very small local type restaurant, because Usually they have a lot of pictures and you can just point and you can just pay. I mean, it's not hard, go to the store, just get your stuff, pay. It's like not a big deal usually, but yeah, in my case, my boss did all my bills, so I didn't have to worry about that. And my husband now does all my bills. So he's Japanese. Um, so yeah, doctor's stuff can be tricky. I'll take my husband if I have to. If I don't, it's basically like they look at me, they decide the medicine, I mean, I might have just a little bit of a conversation, but not like a lot. I don't know a bunch of doctor's terms or anything. So
So doctors, they typically don't speak English.
no.
But yeah, that would be a
Yeah, it can be frustrating, but I mean, I've lived here. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's America.
had
It's me. Go.
had your own translator too, like you said, so that can help. But
Yeah. So,
someone on its own that might be potentially a little bit more challenging.
oh yeah, yeah.
Living here, like you said,
I probably wouldn't be here if I wasn't married. Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if I was still an English teacher, my boss was still helping me. But yeah,
when you go to the doctor's appointment.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, you might possibly get a friend to go, but yeah, that'd be very inconvenient. They call this a garden, like their yard. If we
Yeah.
call it a yard, and they call it a garden.
Garden.
Because I think it's because it's so small, usually small, not big like, we're used to maybe. Yeah, so I was a little confused. Garden versus farmland plot or something. Okay. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of little plots of farmland around. Yeah, and you don't know who they belong to, right? Some people, there'll be multiple people using it. Like they let people use some of their farmland because maybe they're not using it and they still have the land.
Now, what's one moment you realized you were starting to think or act a little Japanese?
Well, definitely about bowing, right? And I sometimes just say words that I like better in Japanese. I'll just say them, like, even when I went to America, even though I'm not good at Japanese and I do not use it all the time, but it'll just like come out. Like I say words like sugoi, sugoi ne. It's like, wow, that's a cool or something, like
What it means?
because people say that here so much. It's like you're like, and ne is kind of like right, so it's like, look at that sugoi ne, like, and it's just, like, fun to say. I don't know, it's, like, really convenient to say that in certain situations, or so I'll just, like, happen to say something in Japanese, or I'll say and Hiro, my husband, thinks it's so funny because 'cause I'll be like, "Dame," to my kids. That means, like, "No, stop." It's like, "No, don't do that," but for some reason, it's easier for me to say that than no. I'm like, "Dame." I mean, like, "Dame, stop," "It's stop," for you to yeah, and he just cracks up.
Is it only in the context of kids, or can you use it that dame into other
Um,
scenarios?
kids.
Cats, maybe? Like
Yeah,
if I say
kids, I mean,
just kids?
um,
To animals?
I mean, that's
Maybe?
the way that I use it. Thinking. No, you can say it to animals. Yeah, you can say, yeah, you can say.
I'm trying to make
Yeah, yeah.
my own.
Hiro said that his mom used to say that to the cat. Like
Okay.
the cat's about to like do something. And it's like,
I know your kids speak fluent Japanese and English, which is very neat. What does raising bilingual, bicultural kids look like for your family today?
yeah, we are very unique because our house is an English house.
Yes.
And the kids go to their grandparents almost every day, and that's all Japanese. So for them, so it's so great that they can just learn both, like and be immersed in one and then be immersed in the other. So that was so cool because, I mean, I don't know much Japanese. I mean, I don't know enough Japanese. And then my husband, well, he loves English, and he doesn't want also the kids to be speaking in Japanese so much around me. If possibly I'll be missing stuff, and I think I'm actually forgetting the question, but what does it look like? But okay.
What does it look like?
Oh.
Kind of that dynamic.
But it is
Great.
really, but what's really cool is like people come to our house and our kids will just switch. So if they think that they know Japanese better, they automatically just stop talking to them in Japanese. And if they know English better, they switch to English, and it's really cool. I actually like reading like historical fiction or watching historical fiction or something. And I think it's really cool how a long time ago, the kids learned from their parents and they worked alongside their parents and everything. And they wanted to grow up. I'm going to be like my dad and I'm going to and nowadays everybody wants to stay young and immature. you know, I'm cool even though I'm like 60 years old and I think that's ridiculous, like you need to like mature, and I think the kids they need to mature and they need to like learn to grow up, and it's important. So I'm so happy, yeah, that we get to homeschool and their grandparents do and we do it. Yeah, it's great.
They learn from different people,
Yeah,
different things, and they have more exposure to different perspectives of life, different ways of doing things,
that's true.
different cultures at the same time.
Yep.
One thing that you won't miss if you were ever to leave Japan.
I will not miss, yeah, not understanding a lot of things. I cannot read a lot of things. I honestly, yeah, I I I'm sure I should have learned way more, kanji. Kanji is the harder Japanese, and I just never really tried to learn it because I thought, it's better to just learn to speak, But I guess I should have, you know what I mean? Like, but I was too busy really doing life. Like I was just teaching English and doing with my kids, and my husband and I can speak English here in a restaurant, and it's kind of private, right? We can just talk about whatever we want. I don't have to worry, even though some people know English, but not like a lot. But like if I go to America and we're like talking to each other, I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are gonna hear what we're saying, and I can hear what they're saying, and I'm like, it's not,
Okay.
good. So actually, it's in a way, I actually don't always like it, but yeah. But I
Okay.
definitely like it if I'm trying to talk to a friend or something, of course, and relatives. Yeah.
If you had one advice,
Mhm.
kind of staying on that same path of someone maybe considering moving to Japan, maybe for work, maybe for love, maybe for a new adventure,
Mhm.
what advice would you have for them?
Don't be shy to practice the language. Okay, I guess, because yeah, that does not help you learn for sure. Just try. Just get a friend, talk to them as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you need to know. I mean, in most situations, my situation has been unique, but yeah, you really do need to know if you want to really, live here and without help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What would you tell your younger self?
Yeah, I guess just try more or just hang out with friends that can only speak Japanese and really talk.
So you would encourage your younger self to actually learn the language?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, but yeah, it's hard to say that because I mean, there's a reason I didn't learn as much as I did. I was busy, you know what I mean? It would have taken a lot more time and effort for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I might, yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the characters, even just the reading, you're not reading letters like the American alphabet. You're reading
Right.
characters.
Writing and reading the even my husband does not remember all the kanji. I mean, like he'll forget
Kanji, that's what
if you don't keep writing it, you can't just remember it all. It's like 2,000 or something. I don't know,
2,000 characters.
something like that.
Oh, wow. Wow. I didn't realize that.
I mean, so I didn't really start, if you know what I mean. Like I just only learned that there's like a really simple way to read Japanese, but of course that's not on everything. But it is on a lot of things. Like it helps. So I only learned the like simplest possible.
If you enjoyed this episode of From Where to Here, make sure to hit follow and subscribe everywhere you listen to your podcast on social media at From Where to Here Pod. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to also share it with a friend, leave a review. It helps more people discover stories like this one. In the meantime, I always say that keep exploring. Thank you. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you for tuning in to From Where to Here. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who loves discovering new cultures. Follow us on Instagram at From Where to Here Pod for exclusive updates, behind the scenes moments, and a peek at upcoming guests. Until next time, keep learning, keep connecting, and keep celebrating the beauty of languages and cultures. À bientôt!